Borno State has just witnessed one of the most heartbreaking incidents in recent times, and this story is one that will leave you shocked and deeply concerned about the safety of ordinary citizens trying to make an honest living. On December 2025, at around 1 in the afternoon, Nigerian Air Force aircraft dropped bombs on over 50 commercial vehicles parked at Tashan Mararaba Motor Park, a busy business junction between Kukawa and Monguno local government areas. These weren't armed fighters or militants hiding in the shadows. These were commercial drivers, fishermen, traders and farmers going about their daily business in an area known as a major transit point for people traveling to surrounding towns. The drivers had parked their vehicles at this motor park because they were waiting to transport fishermen and their goods back to Monguno town, where the fish would be sold at local markets. This was a routine operation that had been going on for years without any major incident. Nobody expected what was about to happen next. The bombs rained down on these parked vehicles, destroying them and catching everyone completely off guard. When the drivers learned that their cars had been hit, they rushed to the scene to see the damage. Many of these men depended on these vehicles for their livelihood, to feed their families and pay their bills. Some of the cars belonged to neighbors who had trusted them to drive and earn money to support their wives and children. After assessing the devastating destruction, the drivers made the decision to stay overnight at a location waiting for the fishermen to return so they could figure out what to do next. They had no idea that the worst was yet to come. At around 3 in the morning, while these innocent men were sleeping under trees near the damaged vehicles, the aircraft returned and struck again. This second attack was even brutal. 6 people lost their lives in these 2 consecutive strikes. 3 others were seriously injured and about 50 vehicles were completely destroyed. Among the dead were people who just happened to be in the area, including a farmer who was working nearby. Some victims died instantly at the scene, while others were rushed to Monguno General Hospital where they later passed away from their injuries. The Nigerian Air Force has claimed that these were precision strikes targeting members of a terrorist group and their vehicles, but survivors and family members are telling a completely different story. Multiple sources have confirmed that the people killed and injured were regular civilians, not militants or bandits. Baba Malaji, a 55-year-old commercial driver with a wife and 10 children, described the experience as something he will never forget. He said he was at home when he heard the news that his car had been destroyed. He kissed his wife and children goodbye and rushed to check on the damage, hoping to return home the next day. Instead, he found himself under attack again while sleeping under a tree with his fellow drivers. Malaji was driving his neighbor's car at the time, a vehicle he used to earn money by paying the owner weekly. Now that the car is gone, he has no idea how he will support his family or how he will settle things with the owner who trusted him with the vehicle. Another survivor, 40-year-old Baba Goni, sustained serious head injuries and a fractured leg during the strikes. Goni, angry about claims that they were bandits or militants, he explained that Tashan Mararaba is a well-known business location frequented by traders, marketers, and commercial drivers every single day. It serves as the main transit point for people heading to Monguno, Manumbari, Dafan Masara, and Kukawa. He said the suggestion that bandits were sheltering there is completely false and that many people, including the Nigerian Air Force itself, knew exactly what kind of activities took place at that motor park. According to Goni, they are just trying to justify their actions by painting innocent civilians as criminals. The scale of the tragedy becomes even clearer when you hear the names and ages of those who lost their lives. Modukuru was 42 years old. Bakar Dambe was 50. Abakaka was just 30 years old. Babulama Datinkone was 65. Ali was only 25. And there was another man, 45 years old, identified simply as Kelie. Each of these men had families, dreams, and responsibilities. They were fathers, sons, brothers, and breadwinners who left home that day expecting to return. Now, before we continue, if you are finding this story as shocking as I am, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel so you never miss important updates like this. Your support really helps us bring you the truth about what's happening across Nigeria. Ali Baba Lawal, a security officer at Monguno General Hospital, confirmed that 4 victims were brought to the hospital. He said there was no doctor on duty at the time, so he quickly called one to come and attend to the injured men. One of them died at the hospital, while 2 others whose injuries were not as critical were treated and discharged after 3 days. The families of the deceased are calling for justice and accountability. Malam Haji, father of the late Abakaka, told reporters that his son had left home only to check on his damaged car at the motor park. He never imagined that his son would be struck again and killed. Haji said while he accepts his son's death as the will of God, he is appealing to Nigerian authorities to hold those responsible accountable and ensure that justice is served for all the innocent lives lost. Malam Goni lost his elder brother Baba in the strikes. His brother had left home that morning, reassuring the family that he would return soon. Now he's gone forever, leaving behind a wife and 8 children who are all under Goni's care. Goni explained that the past 2 weeks since his brother's death have been incredibly difficult for the entire family. They are predominantly farmers who depend on their farm produce for survival, but insecurity in the area has prevented them from even accessing their farms to grow food or earn income. So not only have they lost a beloved family member, but they are also struggling financially to care for the children he left behind. The destruction of property has also been massive. Survivors and relatives reported that around 50 vehicles were destroyed during the airstrikes. Some were reduced to ashes, others were damaged beyond recognition, while a few sustained moderate damage that might be repairable. What makes this tragedy even more disturbing is that it's not the first time something like this has happened. The Nigerian Air Force has a documented history of mistakenly targeting civilians in airstrikes. According to data reviewed by international news agency Reuters from the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project, an organization that monitors crisis situations around the world, the Nigerian Air Force has repeatedly struck civilian targets by mistake since 2014. Over 2,600 people, most of them civilians, have been killed in 258 airstrike incidents across Nigeria. Some of the most tragic examples include a 2014 bombing in a Borno village that killed more than 30 people. In 2017, Nigerian Air Force strikes in Ran, located in Kala Balge local government area of Borno State, killed around 50 refugees and injured 200 who were sheltering in a camp. Then, in April 2022, 6 young girls were killed in Kurebe, a village in Shiroro local government area of Niger State. Just 4 months later, the Air Force returned to that same location and killed 8 more people in another accidental strike. What's particularly concerning about this latest incident in Mararaba is the silence from the Nigerian Air Force. Several weeks after the December airstrikes, the Air Force is yet to issue any official statement addressing the civilian casualties or responding to inquiries from journalists. When reporters contacted the Air Force spokesperson, they were told to send a text message because he was in a meeting. However, those messages went completely unanswered and multiple follow-up phone calls were also ignored. Even the Borno State government has expressed frustration about the lack of information. Professor Usman Tar, who serves as the State Commissioner for Information, said that his office had reached out to the Nigerian Air Force for details about the incident but never received any response. The timing of these strikes makes the situation even more ironic. The bombings occurred barely 24 hours after the Nigerian Air Force publicly assured civilians of their safety during military operations. On December 13th, the same day as the first strike, the Air Force released a statement about hosting a delegation of experts from the United States who specialize in civilian harm mitigation and response. The Chief of the Air Staff made comments about the Nigerian Air Force's commitment to responsible and precise air operations. He talked about measures designed to minimize civilian harm and protect innocent people during military strikes. Yet within hours of making these promises, bombs were falling on commercial drivers and fishermen. For Malaji, who has been working as a commercial driver in that area for over 30 years, this is the worst situation he has ever faced. The same is true for countless other families affected by these strikes. These were hard-working people trying to earn an honest living in one of the most challenging security environments in Nigeria. They were not criminals or terrorists. They were drivers, fishermen, traders, and farmers contributing to the local economy and supporting their families. The question everyone is asking now is what happens next? Will the Nigerian Air Force acknowledge what happened and take responsibility? Will there be any investigation? Will the families receive compensation? Will the injured survivors get help with their medical bills? These are all critical questions that remain unanswered. What do you think about this heartbreaking incident? Do you believe the Nigerian Air Force should be held accountable for these civilian casualties? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you found this report informative and important, please share it with your friends and family so more people can be aware of what's happening. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you're always updated. Thank you so much for watching.